Yeah, conduct is number one. Second is AML. And third is talent retention for the team. Step by step, I'd say conduct is a new area. The industry has been working very closely with the regulators in formulating standards. And these tend to be principles-based standards, so they're more challenging. But we've been embedding the concept with the business, and the business has been an active participant with the regulators in coming up with these new codes. For example, the FX Global Code. So, you know, training is well underway. There's good business engagement with it because they feel they're part of it. So, you know, that's in terms of the conduct. And I think conduct, to speak of this region, Asia Pacific, takes its cue from basically the FCA. We keep a close eye on what's happening over there. But our regulators tend to be conservative, I'd say, and that's a good thing. Basically see what works over there and apply it over here. But they're working more closely together with the European regulator than ever. So we're definitely a part of that in terms of consultation. So that's a multi-month, maybe a multi-year process. Yeah. And in terms of AML, this is an ongoing challenge. There's a transformational project underway in our firm that involves a lot of resources, a lot of headcount, and basically we're looking at the highest standards in the world and applying them down to the ground across Asia. And the big challenge there is harmonizing what these high standards are with what's required locally. And but that's ongoing as well. It's going to take a lot more resources. The race is not finished yet, and talent retention is a constant challenge. We look for the best people to support the business, and so does everyone else. So we try and create engagement with our team to retain them, because it is a lot more efficient to do that, to grow the team and to keep them engaged, than to go outside to the market. I think that people notice this, and one of the ongoing comments from the business to the second line to compliance is, well, everyone on the street is doing it. Well, maybe even if everyone on the street isn't doing it, but one competitor is doing that, say cutting corners. So I take that to mean basically violating the spirit of the requirement rather than the letter of the law. And that's the world we live in now. We're in a principles-based regulatory environment, for better or for worse. And I think it's probably better because it covers more activity, but it puts more onus on the firms, on the regulated, to think for themselves and take the ethical path. But the reasonable minds could differ in terms of interpretation. But I think the door to the regulator has never been more open. And even though we have all these specific restrictions, particularly regarding the use of capital and proprietary trading, which have really put a crimp on the old ways. So there's not a lot of leeway for people to engage in, I'd say, creative brinksmanship. But where it does happen, the door is open to the regulator to ask them. And I'd say that, and that's what I would recommend actually to the business. Also to bring in lawyers, bring in external counsel or in-house counsel to answer that question. But in many cases, it's an issue of first impression. So the regulator would be the expert on this. There's no such thing as a stupid question. When in doubt, ask. And I'd say in this kind of case, find out by asking. Well, I see an analogy, say an investment bank environment where you have public and private side. So that's essentially what it is. Um, it's okay, and I see the cross-pollination of capabilities and expertise to be a great thing. There are a lot of ex-regulators on compliance teams on my team, and it's invaluable because they understand the language. And I would like to see more people in the business join the regulator and it does make them better. It makes us better. It makes them better. But the idea is, if there's going to be this kind of transference, it needs to be appropriate. It needs to be open. And on the public-private side, you can cross the wall, subject to certain limitations. So there needs to be governance about what you do once you get to the other side. And as long as that's there and it's transparent, I think it's a great idea. It's absolutely salutary to the ethical conduct of a firm. It sharpens the attention like nothing else. And teams everywhere in firms are living with that knowledge now. We've been through the GFC. And everyone knows someone with maybe 1 or 2 degrees of separation who's really gotten burned because of conduct issues. And it's actually very helpful to the second line of defense because you're not seen as preaching and saying, well, this could happen, that can happen. People put themselves in the frame with personal liability. And it actually gives them an incentive or disincentive to engage in unethical conduct. But they see, it answers the question for the first line, for the front office, what's in it for me? Well, what's in it for you is you can continue your career, you get your bonus, you don't have all these negative factors. So conducting business within ethical bounds is a rational move. And I'd say individual liability has really fostered this idea. So it's a good thing.